We would like to introduce the Sand Shark Grit Removal Stack Tray product family. This includes the circular stack tray grit collector, coupled with a grit slurry pump, and a grit washer can be used to further concentrate the grit slurry. The grit washer is shown in the animation with a circular basin designed to settle the slurry and remove organics from the sand. A grit classifier is also an option if organic removal is not a requirement. The main unit process is the grit collector. The grit collector is composed of circular stacked trays. Water enters in a singular channel and is distributed to each tray in a constant velocity distributor. The presence of trays enhances particle settling velocity, such as smaller particles are captured. Several size units are available. The circular stack tray configuration is extremely simple with no moving parts. The circular design has the advantage of providing a low velocity settling zone in the center of the unit. A grit pump is needed to move grit slurry from the bottom of the collector to the grit washer. Grit slurry is fluidized in the center of the grit collector by potable or reuse water injected into a ring around the pump suction. A grit washer is shown in the animation. Grit slurry, composed of roughly 1.5% grit, is pumped from the center of the collector to the grit washer. The grit washer is used to further dewater grit and reduce organic content of the grit. The grit washer is shaped in a cone to facilitate settling of solids. Slurry enters the grit cone in a tangential inlet to facilitate a circular motion. The circular motion helps create a low velocity zone in the center to aid settling. Grit settles in a bed at the bottom of the grit washer. The bed of grit is fluidized by injected water and an agitator. Organics are washed from the sand in the fluidized bed. Organic material is released from the surface of the grit particle and goes into solution above the grit. An auger is shown at the bottom of the settled grit bed to move concentrated grit to a receptacle. An organic removal valve is positioned just above the fluidized bed to open and bleed off wastewater with concentrated organics. The organic removal valve also works on a time sequence. Wastewater from the organic removal process and effluent water is sent back to the wastewater treatment process, typically to the front of the grit process. The final view shows concentrated grit falling into a receptacle. This is typically a dumpster for hauling concentrated grit to the landfill.